So this movie is on navigating your data. We're going to select a region, in probably the quickest way you can do that, and then we're going to migrate around the region. We're going to find a way to jump from region to region. We can select an area of the spreadsheet and use the Tab, Enter, and Shift keys to navigate around that selected area. We can use some keyboard shortcuts to go to the beginning of the spreadsheet, or cell A1, and we can use some keyboard shortcuts to go to the last populated cell on the worksheet. So I've got some data that's a list of the industries in alphabetical order of the stocks that are traded on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange with some financial ratios. And the first thing I'm going to do is adjust this data because we can't really read it. So I'm going to select the data, double click, and use auto fit so that we can see everything that's in the cell. The next thing I'm going to do is to select this whole region of data in probably the quickest way we can do it, which is to, after we select a cell in the region, which is what we've done, cell F11 is the active cell, press Ctrl+A, and we've selected that entire region. So now, if I want to find out how big this region is, I can press Ctrl+, and every time I press Ctrl+, I'm going to go clockwise from corner to corner around the data. Ctrl+, 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 and back up to the upper leftmost populated cell in the region. I'm going to down arrow one time to deselect the region and then up arrow once. So another way that we could have navigated around this data is to double click the edge of the frame that's around the active cell. Right now that's D7. If I double click the right side, after I get the four-sided arrow, I shoot all the way to the last cell that has data in that region of cells, the contiguous range of cells that have data. I can double click the bottom and I go to the bottom of the region. Left of the region, and up, I go all the way up. So I know I have this region of data, but I might have more data on the worksheet. There's a couple different ways to do it, but we're talking about navigating the data, so that's what we're going to do. By pressing the end down arrow key, we can go to the last populated cell in the contiguous range of cells that have content. And when I press end down arrow again, I go to the first populated cell. So I have another region here of data. I'm down at the last populated cell for that region, or for that contiguous range of cells, end down arrow, and I'm at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So I know I have two regions. I'm going to end up arrow again a couple times. Top of that second region, bottom of the first region, top of the first region. So when I end down arrow, it's going to find the first blank cell, even if the first blank cell, and I'm going to delete the content in that cell, happens to be contained within the larger area that has data. So you can use this to find blank cells in your column of data. There are, of course, other ways to do that as well. I'm going to Ctrl+Z to undo that and bring back that industry. So another way to navigate around your data, I'm going to select a smaller portion of the data, so we can use the Shift, Tab, and Enter key to navigate around this data. We've selected cells D7 to H19, but D7 is the active cell. I can choose another one of these cells or make another one of these cells the active cell if I want to change the content or format that cell differently or deal with the content that's in that cell. By pressing the Tab key, I move to the right, and then when I get over to the end, I'll go down a row. If I press the Shift Tab key, I'll go back the other way. So I'm moving horizontally. If I press the Enter key, I'll move vertically. And when I get to the bottom of a column, Excel will start me out at the next column. Shift Enter will move me in the opposite direction. I'm going to press the down arrow key and deselect that. So I'm going to use the name box to go deep into the spreadsheet. I'm going to go to cell AJ 500,000. Anytime you're any place in the spreadsheet, you can get to the origin or cell A1 by pressing Control Home. So that's a quick way to get back up to cell A1. You can also use a keyboard shortcut to find the last populated cell on the worksheet. And the last populated cell is the cell for which there is no content, nothing to the right of that cell or below that cell by pressing Ctrl+End. So we are at the bottom of the second region of data, and the second region of data doesn't extend out as far as the first region of data. And we know that there's nothing below row 215, and I'm going to end up arrow, and there is nothing to the right of column M. So that's navigating your data. We began by selecting a region and then used the Control plus the period key to clockwise go around from corner to corner within that region. We went to the end of the region by pressing Ctrl+N, and we also found out that we had another region of data that way. We used the Shift, Tab, and Enter keys to navigate around a selected region of data. We went to the origin, the beginning of the worksheet, cell A1, by pressing Control-Home. We pressed Control-End and got to the last populated cell in the worksheet.